Trouble in paradise? Those are the reports coming out of Washington today as fractures seem to be emerging in the GOP between the Republicans' pro-pedophilia wing and the party's extremely pro-pedophilia wing. Infighting between the two pedophile coalitions reaching new levels of intensity in recent weeks, leaving GOP leadership to question how best to handle the future of their party's sexual attraction to minors. ONN's Jason Copeland joins us now from Washington with the latest. Jason, you've been in close contact with Republican insiders. What are you hearing?
Yeah, Dwight, well, this is really a battle for the soul of the Republican Party, plain and simple. You know, the GOP has historically welcomed a wide net from pederasts to ephebophiles, and there's always been, sort of moderate support for sexual attraction to children, but many in the base are now asking for a more full-throated endorsement, and like you said, this is really about the party of pedophilia's future, and right now it's looking a little bit split.
And the split playing out very publicly on social media just yesterday, with Senator Thom Tillis replying pretty tepidly to the most recent Epstein Files revelations.
Yeah, that's right. He's publicly calling everything in the Epstein Files cool, which frankly, to pro-pedophilia voters, this comes off as a pretty lukewarm endorsement of child sex trafficking.
Which just isn't going to cut it in the post-Trump era of Republican pedophiles. A new Gallup poll showed only 44% of Republican voters being in favor of pedophilia, with another 43% being very in favor of it.
Yeah, and that's really what we're talking about here, Dwight. For the last 10 years, the entire party has been jockeying for who's going to succeed Donald Trump as the face of American pedophilia. And right now, Republicans are looking closely at some local elections for insight. And this centrist versus extreme dynamic is playing out in Republican primaries across the country. This is Utah State Senator incumbent Matt Riggs staking out the more moderate position on child sex abuse.
I think my record speaks for itself. No one, and I do mean no one, was more upset than me the day Millie Bobby Brown turned 18. I am a staunch and committed pedophile.
Pretty boilerplate talking points.
Exactly. It's a lot of the same old promises that many just aren't believing are going to resonate in exactly the same way anymore. And especially when you compare it alongside the more energized campaigns of some of the more charismatic sex criminals running, like Riggs' opponent Brock Granite, political outsider who fired back in a podcast appearance earlier this week.
Seducing underage boys and girls is a bedrock founding principle of the Republican Party. And it sickens me to see my opponent swoop in and try and steal valor from the real pedophiles on the ground. I looked it up. In the Epstein Files, this guy's name appears less than 300 times. It's performative pedophilia.
Now, Senator Riggs has already responded on X saying, quote, "I enjoy molesting as much as the next red-blooded American pedophile. I just don't make it my whole campaign. We need to be responsive to kitchen table issues, or the only ones left at the table will be adults." Jason, these are strong words being said against fellow pedophile party members. Is there any sense they can find common ground here and come together on this?
Not without strong pedophilic leadership at the top, Dwight. Some think J.D. Vance could be that, but others say he just looks like a pedophile more than acts like one. P. Diddy certainly could have been an interesting outside candidate. But the bottom line here, Dwight, is this is an identity crisis for a party that will eventually need to decide, are they going to push forward and continue to build upon the pedophilia of Trump? Or will they take the path of the Matt Gaetz moderates, go back to their roots and once again commit to being the grand old pedophiles of Reagan?
Will be interesting to see how it plays out. Thank you, Jason. In response to the infighting, Democratic leadership is looking to capitalize politically. Members of the House and Senate today held a joint press conference dressed as little children, stating, quote, "You can all be pedophiles if we can please have health care." Coming up next, making America healthy again. More on RFK Jr.'s latest initiative to fill the Washington Monument reflecting pool with beef tallow. You've seen the news, now touch it with your fingers. To receive your monthly print edition of The Onion, head to membership.theonion.com today. With America's finest news source, the more you pay, the better the news.